Hi friends, today I am going to discuss about kelp forest. Okay, so kelp forest are actually a kind of underwater ecosystem which are found in the shallow waters or nearby the coastal region or nearby the seashore. Right. So kelp forest are a kind of underwater ecosystem which are formed by the dense growth of several different species known as kelps. So kelps are the main species we can see in the kelp forest. Okay, actually they are a kind of algae. So you can see the picture there, kelp forest. That structure will look like much like a plant, right? But actually it is not a plant. It's a algae called as large brown algae. So even though the kelps look like plants, it is not a plant. It is a algae called as extremely large brown algae. Now this algae, we know that algae are producers. They can do the photosynthesis, right? So kelps are the producers in this kelp forest. That means they relies on the sunlight to generate food and energy. Kelp forest relies on the sunlight to generate or to create food and energy through the process called as photosynthesis. Right. So they require sunlight. Right. So that's why they are seen nearby the seashore. Okay. So this is sea floor and this is the top water surface. Water surface. And this is atmosphere, right? So this kelps are attached to the seafloor. Kelps are attached to the seafloor, and eventually they will grow towards to the water surface. Okay, so kelps are attached to the seafloor. Eventually they will grow towards to the water surface. Why? Because they require sunlight. They require sunlight. Okay, so because of that, these kelps are seen nearby the seashore or in the coastal region or in the shallow water. Okay, because they require sunlight. So we know that sunlight cannot penetrate to the deep of the oceans or sea, right? So that's why these kelps are seen nearby the seashore. Now another main point is kelps forest can develop very quickly. Kelp forest can develop very quickly in areas that they do not previously exist. Why? Because actually they can grow around 18 inches per day. Kelps can grow around 18 inches. That means around 45 centimeters they can grow in a single day. Kelp forest can develop very quickly. Why? Because it is having an incredible growth called as around 18 inches per day or 45 centimeters per day. Right. Now, where we can see this kelp forest? Right. So kelps live in or kelps thrive in cool or cold condition, cold waters which are having nutrient-rich waters, relatively shallow waters close to the shore. Okay, they require cool or cold condition, cold waters, right? They require nutrient-rich waters because it's a producer, so they require nutrients for their energy production or food production. Then they require relatively shallow waters close to the shore. Why? Because they require sunlight. Okay. Now, kelp forests are always coastal. Kelp forests are always coastal and they require shallow, relatively clear water. So here you can see they require relatively clear water. Why? Because we know that they require sunlight, right? So if you are not having clear water, sunlight won't penetrate to the underneath of sea floor, right? So that's why for the proper reaching of or utilization of this sunlight, they require relatively clear water. Otherwise, sunlight cannot penetrate. Sunlight will be dispersed. Okay. So these are the main point you have to remember. Kelps require cold condition, cold or cool condition, nutrient-rich waters, relatively shallow waters close to the shore, right? And they are always coastal and they require relatively clear water. Now we know that these coral reefs or mangrove forest or warm water seagrass beds, okay, these are some kind of ecosystem which we can see in the tropical region, mainly in the tropical region, right? So coral reefs, mangrove forest, warm water seagrass beds, they are found mainly in the tropical region, but this kelp forest, they try to avoid the tropical region. They live further from the tropics. Why? Because we know that tropical region or equatorial region are warm, right? But the condition for kelp forest are cool condition, cold water, right? So kelps thrive in the cold condition. So that's why kelps lives further from the tropics. So because of that, kelp forests do not overlap with the other ecosystems like mangroves or coral reef or warm water seagrass beds. Okay, because they are seen in different regions. Kelps are in cold regions and others are in the hot warm water regions in the tropical regions. So these kelp forests grow predominantly on the Pacific coast from Alaska and Canada to the waters of Baja California. Okay, so these are the main point you have to remember regarding kelp forest. Okay, now here is the model question for kelp forest. Consider the following statement. First statement, kelp forest is a classification of tropical evergreen forest. Is it? No. We know that tropical evergreen forest is a kind of terrestrial forest, terrestrial ecosystem, and we know that kelp forest is a aquatic ecosystem. It's under the water, right? So that's why first statement is wrong. It is not a type of tropical evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forest is a terrestrial ecosystem and kelp forest is a aquatic ecosystem. So that's why first statement is wrong. We eliminated A and C. Then second statement, kelp forest can be seen only in tropical regions where there is warm water. So here you can see the word only in tropical region. Actually we said that kelps try to avoid the tropical region. They live further from the tropical region. Okay, so that's why this is wrong. It is not only in tropical region, right? Generally it avoids the tropical region. Then you can also see that where there is warm water, actually kelp forest require cool water or cold water, right? Not the warm water. That's why second statement is also wrong. Okay, so the two factual errors are there, that is only tropical region and warm water. Okay, so here the answer will be D, neither one nor two. Okay, thank you.